Hi, hello, welcome back to my channel. My name is Kayla. I am a writer. I currently have one poetry collection published and I am working on the first book of my high fantasy pirate portal duology called Between the Waves. I'm currently on draft 4 and I am revising and redrafting certain aspects of it, and it's just been a whole journey. That's what we're currently working on. You can find me on my writing Instagram and also on Patreon if you're interested in supporting me further or getting exclusive behind the scenes content, extra videos, seeing some of my writing, and getting early access to announcements and stuff that I might have. So today is Monday and we have a long day basically of getting through the writer's block that I'm currently running into with draft 4 of Between the Waves. I briefly chatted about it in a previous video. I'm just like struggling to get into this draft and I don't really know why. I also have my matcha this morning. We ran out of coffee and we're just gonna ride that wave because I feel like I could do without coffee for a few days. My thought is that the reason that I'm struggling is because first half of Act 1, basically leading up to the inciting incident of this draft, is new. It's technically stuff that did already happen, and to be fair, in a previous draft that was like an unfinished draft, this version of Act 1 did exist, so it's not new, but it's like 75% new. And it's only the first few chapters, like it's just the first few chapters leading up to the inciting incident that's new. And I have it pretty thoroughly planned out. Like I know what needs to happen. I know what points I need to touch on. I know what needs to build in this new drafted section in order to help with the rest of the story and help with context and clarity and better character arcs, which was the goal of this draft. And yet I keep running into some sort of block. I think it's just because I haven't actually been drafting in a very long time, and since these are technically new words, I think that I'm running into a block because I'm nervous about putting new words on the page. Okay, at some point during that clip my camera died, so I don't know where I ended, but the main idea is that today I'm basically just going to spend as much time as possible working on Between the Waves in the hope that I can force myself through this writer's block and start to like find a flow again. It's just gonna be one of those days where I know I'm gonna like write a bunch that needs to probably get out of the pipeline and like clear my head, and then I'm sure things will start to flow again. So I kind of just have to get myself to the inciting incident and then we can do some more revising and kind of like get into the flow of that. I've also been kind of just like going through this negative trait thesaurus. This is something that I've seen Katie Wismer use a ton. She has like a bunch of these. It's like a collection of these writing craft books. This one is specifically discussing character flaws, and since I have been working so in depth on my characters, I thought that I should probably learn a bit more about character flaws and like try to understand my characters a bit better and like the things they might do because of the backstories that I've now confirmed for them. And honestly, this has been wildly helpful. I think I probably need to buy it for myself because it is due to go back to the library, which is unfortunate. I'm still trying to not buy books, like I'm trying to just get them from the library, but I think when it comes to craft books, I might have to buy them because I'm someone who like adds sticky notes and likes to make notes in my craft books and likes to like reference them. I'm glad I like got it from the library just to test it out, but I think I'll probably end up buying a few of these. I'm a bit of a mess today. I don't know. I'm figuring it out, but I did, as you can see, put together a little flat lay. I feel like matcha green is really what I'm going for lately. I did already finish the edit for this Friday's video. It's exporting currently. It's like good that I'm on top of content, and I know I mentioned in the post that I made on my community tab that I need to be on top of content right now because I'm moving at the end of the month, so I imagine there will be like a bit of a lull as far as creating content goes, which is why I want to have it stocked up and ready to go for when I move. But now I always run into this thing where anytime that I'm ahead of content, all I want to do is post it. Like it's Monday. Sorry, Luna is snoring. It's Monday and I have Friday's vlog now exporting and ready to go up, and my brain wants the dopamine hit of getting it uploaded. Like and just like getting it fully over with and like fully checked off. Like my brain wants that dopamine hit so badly that I'm just like so tempted to post it. But what's the point of filming in advance to stock up videos if all I do is post them as soon as I film them? This is a struggle that I regularly have. Between the Waves update is that I have spent, how much time? 36 minutes so far working on writing. So far I have finished chapter 2. It's quite a short chapter, but I'm currently doing this thing where I'm writing out all of the new scenes as their own chapters, which is generally how my manuscripts end up being anyways. But I'm trying really hard not to overwrite because I have a habit of like, I'll have 3 paragraphs in a row that all basically say the same thing, but my brain wanted to make sure that I was like covering all my bases. So I just kept writing and then I overwrote it and there's redundancies and it's just like basically the same thing said in 3 different ways in 3 different paragraphs. So I'm trying really hard to avoid doing that, which means at this moment, the chapters and the scenes are quite short, but I think that's going to be okay because I'm going to flesh them out and I'm sure I've missed something that I'll need to add later on. So far I've written 1,007 words, which means that chapter 2 is currently sitting at 1,071 words. My goal of the day is to hit 3 hours working on Between the Waves. It does feel like I'm getting closer to the flow. Like I feel like I'm getting there, but I still have 2.5 hours to work on Between the Waves. So I'm just hoping to push through, maybe, I don't want to say anything, maybe even get to the inciting incident. And the only reason that I think that I might actually be able to get there today is because one of these scenes that I'm going to write, I think there's 2 more new scenes that I need to write, maybe 3. But one of them is basically already written. It's very similar to a previous prologue that I had. This is what I mean by like the timeline has shifted. So that one theoretically is not a new draft. That one is just like a hefty rewrite of a previous prologue. Hi, good morning. It is the next day. I did not spend 3 hours on writing yesterday. I feel like I started to get, well, is that true? I don't know. I'm just like, you know what I think I'm doing right now? Like I'm trying to get into the flow, which is what I kind of mentioned yesterday. And I think I'm like frustrated with it, and being frustrated is not going to help, if anything. Being frustrated and like annoyed that you're not able to get into the flow of writing is actually just going to prevent that creativity further. I feel like creativity does not flourish under anxiety. But I think I'm just getting frustrated because like when I was plotting and outlining this 4th draft, I was in the flow. Like when I was world building, when I was coming up with ideas, I was brainstorming, I was outlining, I actually felt very much in the flow. So now I guess I'm just like, I'm frustrated because while I was outlining, I was in the flow, so why can't I actually get into the flow when I'm writing, just following that outline anyways? So yeah, I'm gonna spend some good time on writing today as well, but I think that I need to go into it with the intention of being not gentle with myself, but being more open-minded and less like frustrated around the fact that I can't force the flow, you know? And that is gonna be like the focus around writing today, is just like, let it happen, see what comes out, just keep writing and don't be upset with yourself if, you know, the first 1,000 words still don't feel flowy and still feel like they're a little bit tough to get out. I think this is where that blind faith comes in. You can't see anything happening, but I think I'm grateful that I've done this process before, at least. Like, I know that it'll come back, you know, like I know that it's not like I'm never gonna feel a flow state again when I'm writing. I know it'll come. I kind of just have to keep chugging away, and then eventually it'll come and it'll be wonderful when it does. So yeah, that's where we're at. I'm at the library, so I'm gonna head in there and get some work done. Day 3 of me writing until I get through this writer's block. I did finish chapter 2. I don't know if I updated you on that yesterday. I did finish chapter 2. So chapter 1 and 2 are done. I spent some time this morning also reviewing beta reader feedback notes from the questionnaires specifically, because I was like, I was actually having a chat with Diane. I'll leave her link down below, by the way. She's on AuthorTube as well, and it's her debut year for her book, so you should go check her out. But I was on a call with her yesterday, and we were kind of talking about my self-doubts around this book. And as we were chatting, I concluded that I should probably go and look at my beta reader feedback again, just to like make sure that I am still aligned, because I've kind of been struggling with like self-doubts around whether or not the changes that I'm making are aligned with making the story stronger. So this morning I did review the beta reader feedback again, and I'm happy to report that actually most of the changes that I'm making are what the beta readers were looking for. There's a couple things here and there that still needed to change, but I'm changing them in a different way than what like one beta reader suggested, for example. But also anything that is like all of the beta readers were like on the same page about this needs to be fixed, those are actually changes that I'm making. So sometimes you just have to like review stuff like that and go back and like reconnect and realign. And I do feel better, actually. I do think that I'm on the right track. So I also reviewed the outline that I have, the very loose outline for the changes before the inciting incident. And I have 2 to 3 scenes left to do. Technically, I've outlined 3, but I actually think that 2 of them will be combined or one of them is just going to be fully removed. So really, it's just a few thousand words, and then I'll be to the inciting incident, which is where draft 3, the previous draft, started from anyways. So then it'll be actual editing rather than like completely new drafting. So, all right, I'm going to go into the cafe and keep writing until this writer's block leaves me. I was going through this vlog, editing it, and thinking like, I wanted to continue the vlog because in my head, I was focusing on writing until I got through my writer's block. And then I got to the end of the week, it's the weekend now, and I was like, I feel like I failed this vlog. Like, I feel like I can't put this up because I didn't hit my goal, or I didn't succeed in like the journey of this vlog or the story of this vlog, which was that I wanted to continue writing until I got through my writer's block. But then I was like rewatching the footage I got. It's not a failure. I still wrote about 2,000 words last week. For me, it just seemed like 2,000 words in the week was not that much, but I actually worked through that writer's block in the way that I feel like I needed to. Sorry, camera just died again. I feel like I've not been very good at charging my camera lately. As I was saying, I just feel like I wanted to upload this video anyways and finish it off just to kind of give a reassurance to people that it's not always going to be a good writing day or a good writing week or a good writing month. And I spent all of this past week trying to find the flow with the project. And at the end of the day, I feel like I still didn't really find the flow. But this is like my personal belief, is that when you're not able to flow in something and when you're not figuring something out, it's because there's something stuck in the pipeline, something that you need to get out in order to get to the flowy parts of the project and of your creativity. So for me, I'm learning that that just means being super, super stubborn and basically just coming and sitting down with the project every single day or every second day or whatever works for you, and just doing what you can. And for me this past week, that looked like doing some writing and getting around 2,000 words for the week. But also there were other days where, you know, the progress came from me having a call with Diane and discussing the story, and me spending multiple hours going through beta reader feedback again and kind of like refreshing why I was making the changes I was making, if they were the right changes to be made, and kind of just like regrounding myself in the project. And I think that was a big part of where the issue came from this week, was that I was attaching the success of finding the flow to getting a certain amount of words per day that I knew I was able to get. And I know like when I'm flowing, I can quite easily write 1,000 words a day. So I guess in my mind, I was associating that with being in the flow and being a successful writing week. But I just think this was one of many lessons that I need to remind myself and convince myself that the productivity does not come from the word count. The productivity is not about the quantity at all. It's about the quality, and it's about the work that I'm putting in, and it's about just like being stubborn in my belief when it comes to this project and telling this story. That was a long, rambly way to close off this video and just let you all know that at first I was really feeling like I had failed and like I was still having writer's block, but upon further reflection, I think that I need to give myself a lot more grace and also expand what success means to me when it comes to this book. So yeah, I hope that you all enjoyed this vlog. Hopefully it's one of those vlogs where you watch and you're like, okay, it's not just me who is struggling with my writing right now. It happens to everyone. And if I can give that to you in a video, then I'm very, very happy to do that. So yeah, I appreciate you all being here. Please like the video if you enjoyed it so that other people can find it, and subscribe if you're interested in more videos like this. I will leave links and stuff down below. So thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video.